So yeah, my webcam is not working, so sorry about that. But a little introduction to myself. My name is Carolina. I'm with an organization called the Connecticut Students for a Dream. We're a youth-led organization in Connecticut that organizes for the rights of immigrant youth and families. We're one of the Dreamer organizations that have been working on the DREAM Act and DACA and all that stuff. Organization was founded in 2010. I'm one of the co-founders of the organization. We've been around for 7 years. For the last, I wore many hats, but for the last 2 years, I've been officially the communications and development manager. So for the organization, is what I do is I manage all the communications. That's including like social media, all the digital email stuff, and also traditional media like press releases and all that, and like messaging and everything. And then I also do the grant writing for the organization. So that's a lot. The reason why I signed up for the program is that I really do enjoy digital organizing, and I think with Organization Connections for Dream, like we've been very successful with digital organizing, but most of it I learned kind of like informally by doing it and seeing what works, or having like random people tell me what I should do. So I wanted to join to kind of learn more, to see, especially to learn more about like the technical aspect that may not have been aware of, like what are some good platforms that we can use, because I only just know like what I've been exposed to. It would be like I joined to get like an expert opinion of like what is the right way to do things, and what platform, or like what are the pros and cons of different platforms for different services. I think what has been the most useful for me is like the format of the sessions is really useful. It's really good to have personalized feedback because you join the webinars, and you see everyone's faces the same week. It's like the same people every week. So you learn from the people and from the instructor, like you know what the other people in your classroom are doing, so to speak. So you know about the work, so you can learn more from them because you become more familiar with what people are doing. And getting personalized feedback was also useful because if you join a webinar and you're kind of like invisible, you ask questions in the chat and it's kind of like impersonal. But when you're on video, you can ask questions and get real feedback. So I thought that was very useful. Some like real examples of how we have learned, like we have how our organization has used what I have learned is, I think Facebook ads is probably the main one. Like we had never used Facebook ads, so it was really good to learn not just how to do it, because like I had no idea how to do it, but more importantly like the strategy behind it and the things you should be thinking of when you're doing ads. And it really gives you the power to like exponentially increase your reach when you just know how to do it, the mechanics, but you know like the strategy behind it. Other thing is like there were a few sessions on fundraising, and especially with organization, like we're very uncomfortable with asking people for money, mainly because most of the people are like immigrant youth and immigrant families. It's like we don't want to ask people for money. But there was a very useful session on like writing fundraising emails. And then there was like at the end of the year. So then I wrote like a series of fundraising emails for the end of the year. And that was actually very useful for us. So it was good to learn that and then kind of like immediately apply it. It was also useful to have like guest speakers who are from like different platforms. Like we had a couple guest speakers that work for like different texting services, like group texting or mass texting services. And it was good to hear like their feedback on it and their feedback on like the different platforms or providers they can use. Because I was not educated on like the different types of texting that people can use for digital organizing. So it was very good to hear that from a first-hand perspective.